All forms collect data from a user. Once the user submits the form, you might have a connector that sends an email. Typically, the process ends here. But what if you need someone to review data entered by the user before the email is sent? In today's exercise, we will add an approval step to an order form. This will allow a second user to review the order and either reject it back to the person that submitted the form or approve it, which will trigger the email. Let's create the first step of the workflow near the Submit button. In this example, we will allow the user to select the approver. Workflows can be designed to go to a static user or can be dynamic based on the user or form answers. The list of approvers in the drop-down will automatically load all active users in the account. This needs to be a required field. If an approver is not assigned, then the workflow will be terminated. Next, we can add the process step by dragging it below the approver drop-down. The user needs to activate the workflow, so we'll give them a prompt with a button. We will call this field Step 1. The next process step will be called Step 2 and will go to the person chosen in the approver drop-down. By default, tasks will be given the same name as the title of the form, but we can add a custom description. Now, we only want this process step field to appear when the initiator is filling out the form, or if it is rejected back to step 1. Another page is needed to collect information from the approver. Let's give them a comment field with 3 text lines. This will allow them to type a paragraph response if needed. Add a field to collect who reviewed and approved the form. We can also have them sign it. We can create a process for step 2. First, give them an option to reject it back to the person that initiated the form. The next step will be step 1, or they can approve it. There is no next step, so leave it blank. Set the visibility to only show if the current step is step 2. This page needs a submit button, which can be duplicated from the previous page and then moved to page 3. If the form is rejected, we need to indicate who to send it to. There is a built-in function for this called user email. This will store the email address of the person that initiated the form. If the approver rejects the form, we can include the comments in the description as additional information. I'll show you how this will appear to the user in a minute. Save the form and make sure you are on the test. Let's now set up the email. Go to the connectors page. Click on the Add Run Condition icon. A new field appears labeled, Only perform this action when. Our condition is step 2 equals approve. Click Save. We can now test the workflow in the app. Start off as the initiator by filling out the customer and shipping fields. On the second page, we need to add some products. Let's go with 6 iron pellets. And for the second product, we can get some bombs. Now that we have products, choose an approver and submit the form. Force sync the app, and a task will appear at the bottom of the screen. Click on it to display our task, and click the task to begin working on it. Reviewing the details, we determine that the order minimum has not been reached. Let's continue to the last page and add a comment stating the issue. Type the approver's name and sign the form. Since we found an issue, we will reject the order. Check for tasks at the bottom of the screen. We now see the order form was rejected. We can click into the task to view additional information. The order minimum was not met. Open the task and navigate back to the products page. Let's add some building disintegrators. And while we're at it, how about some buckshot? Send it back to the approver for another look. The approver has received the task. Go into the task and check the products page to confirm that the order minimum was achieved. It looks good. Let's approve the form, which ends the workflow and triggers the email. And there you have it, a simple one-step approver workflow with an email connector that only triggers after approval.
I'm thrilled that you joined me today. We have more videos on the way. Stay tuned and see you next time.